All right, so you've made it to 13. Here we are. Let's take a look at this. Notice number 13 says, view the geometric sequence below and give its a sub 1, r, common ratio, and choose its explicit formula. Choose 3 answers. So just like the other one, we're going to have 3 answers to choose. I know this, if you look right here, we have a sub 1 is 27, a sub 1 is 1. We have, it looks like, a common ratio of 1/3, r of 3, and then we have 2 explicit formulas. So in order to get those answers right, we need to go ahead and take the information it gives us and start solving things. So let's go ahead and start with this. We notice that we have a 1, a 3, a 9, and a 27. So I'm going to pop up my screen so you can see what I'm writing. So I'm going to write those 3 numbers down. So I have a 1, and I have a 3, and I have a 9, and 27. So now that I got these 3 numbers, what I want to do is, first of all, I'm going to identify some things. I know I got to find a sub 1, so I'm going to go ahead and box it. The first number in my sequence is the number 1. That is going to be my a sub 1 value. So I already know what that is, so I can go ahead and box it if I want to, but I'm going to wait just a moment because I'm going to solve the rest of it as well. Notice not only did we need a sub 1, we actually need to find the r, the common ratio. I know this is a geometric sequence because it told me it was. It's also telling me that I have an r, which is a common ratio. So I know that I need to start dividing. I'm going to start by taking my last number. That's just how I like to do it. And I'm going to divide the number to the right of it. In other words, I have 27 divided by 9. I'm going to put that in my calculator. I'm going to see what it gives me. And then I know what my common ratio is. So I get my calculator. And let me go ahead and put that in here real quick. I'll do 27. I'm just going to go ahead and divide that by 9. And now you could be using your fraction bar like I did in the class when I did these, but you don't have to use the fraction bar. You could just divide it like this because we're just looking for the common ratio. And notice it gave me a positive 3. So okay, I know my common ratio is positive 3. So r is equal to 3. I have now found a sub 1. I have found the common ratio. And the next thing I need to do is I got to give its explicit formula, right? It said that right here. So that's the third thing I'm going to find. So let me go in and write the explicit formula. Now remember, our formula for geometric sequence is a sub n is going to be equal to a sub 1 times r to the power of n minus 1. Now I do, just as a side note, I'm going to just write a couple things. This is the geometric formula. If this was an arithmetic sequence, I'm going to write arithmetic over here. The formula is a little different. The formula for arithmetic is a sub n is going to be equal to d, the common difference, times n minus 1, close parenthesis, plus a sub 1. So just remember, right, there is a difference between the formulas of an arithmetic sequence and a geometric. However, this is geometric. We know it is. It told us it was. We've already done the division and found the common ratio. So now to write our explicit formula, we're just going to replace the a and the r with the things that we know. That's my r, that's my a sub 1. So let's rewrite this as a sub n is equal to, and in place of the a sub 1, I'm going to put my a sub 1 value, which is 1, and I'm going to put that in parentheses. And then we have times r, my common ratio, and r is 3. So I'm going to put a parenthesis, and I'm going to replace the r with a 3. And then this is to the power of n minus 1. And this is my explicit formula that I could use to solve any sequence or any term that somebody wants me to find. Now, some of you, down the other day, I had one student, and they said, well, Mr. H, you had put a multiplication sign in between the a sub 1 and the r in the class the other day, but then you left it out when you wrote the parentheses. And that's true. I just put that multiplication sign in there to kind of spread apart those two variables to make it obvious that those are two variables being multiplied to one another. A sub 1 is a variable times r, which is another variable. So we have all 3 of our answers now. A sub 1 is 1. So let's go ahead and start putting these in and selecting them. So I'm going to scoot this over. So my a sub 1 is 1. So I'm going to click right there on 1. Okay, and then my common ratio was 3. So for the common ratio, I'm going to pick 3. And then the last thing I'm going to pick is my formula. So notice I have my a sub 1 first and then the ratio. So this one would be this second option, option 6 over here. So notice I have parenthesis 1 times 3 to the power of n minus 1. And now you know how to solve these types of problems. Now you do have several other problems like this. I'm going to scroll down. So let's see, 14 is the same, 15 is the same. And then we go to a slightly different problem. So go ahead and solve all the way up to 15 and then watch the video for 16.